Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to talk about ETFs. That stands for Exchange Traded Funds. So a lot of people out there want to get involved with trading or investing and they don't know where to start. An ETF could be the perfect thing for you, especially if you want to invest for retirement. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about what an ETF is, the types of ETFs, some examples of popular ETFs, and how you can actually start investing in them. It's going to be a short, snappy video and we're going to get right to the point. So here it is, section number 1. What is an ETF? Okay, as I said at the start of this video, some people don't know what stock to buy. So imagine you go out there and you buy a share of Nvidia or Amazon. That can spike up, spike down quite rapidly, and to someone that's new to investing, it can be quite intimidating. You're like, what do I do? Do I sell? Do I hold? I don't know. So essentially, an ETF is a basket full of these stocks. It allows you to put in, say, £100, which then is allocated to all of those stocks within that basket. So you don't have to invest £100 into Nvidia or Amazon or Tesla. You just invest it straight into that ETF and it automatically divides that up into those stocks for you. It's a super easy and simple way of investing, everyone. So as a perfect example, the S&P 500, which is probably the most popular ETF on the planet. Everyone gets involved with it. I'm involved with it. Amateurs, experienced investors. It's very stable. It tracks 500 of the largest companies across America. Not just tech, it gets involved with tech, healthcare, consumer. It's a bit of everything in one basket. In total, there are 500 stocks in that ETF. Okay, so section 2, types of ETFs. There is not just one, there are different types of ETFs that you can invest in. So, number 1, there is an index ETF. An index ETF is very much like the S&P 500, something I mentioned to you earlier on. This is essentially an ETF that allows you to invest in the market as a whole, okay? Number 2, you have a sector ETF. A sector ETF allows you to invest in a very specific sector. So if you want to get involved with AI, is the big thing right now, everyone knows that. An AI ETF will allow you to invest in a basket full of AI companies like Nvidia, Avgo, anything you want in the AI space, all in one basket. I know that clean energy is a big thing right now. If you want to invest in one clean energy stock and having the risk of that one plummeting down, just invest in a clean energy ETF. At least then you're gonna have a basket full of 10, 20, 30 different clean energy companies, so it'll be much more stable. The only thing you do need to think about is if that sector starts to decline, the likelihood is a lot of those other companies within that are gonna decline as well. So thirdly, you have a dividend ETF. That will allow you to invest your money into a mixture of stocks that pay very good dividends. They essentially have a high dividend yield. These stocks could have a dividend yield of 2%, 3%, 4%. Instead of trying to hunt down these great dividend paying stocks, just stick it in an ETF. So much easier. Here it is, people. Section 3. Why are ETFs good for beginners? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go into it anyway for you. Firstly, and most importantly when you're investing, is diversification. With just one ETF, you can invest in hundreds of different stocks all at the same time, sometimes thousands. The FTSE All-World has 3,500 stocks in that one ETF. So if you put in 100 per month, you're actually investing in 3,500 companies all at the same time. That's true diversification. Fantastic. Secondly, low fees. ETFs can be super affordable with very, very low fees, to the point where there's really not much point in discussing them, because unless you're investing in an ETF with millions and millions, you're really not going to see the impact that some of these fees have anyway. It's non-existent. And thirdly, my favorite, super easy to buy an ETF. If you're using something like Trading 212, which has an amazing auto invest feature, you can select the S&P 500. You can set it to auto invest 50 a week, 100 a week, whatever you want to do, and it will invest in that S&P 500 automatically for you, okay? You don't have to do anything, just let it make you money. Fantastic. Some people will call this boring. Some people call this safe. I call it safe and boring. Okay, so the thing you're probably all asking. Number 4, popular ETFs. What can you invest in straight away instead of having to go out there and find these ETFs? I'm going to tell you 3 of the most popular ones that you can get involved with right now. Now, this is my personal opinion. These are ETFs that I know a lot of people out there investing, from professionals to amateurs. So take a little look for yourself, but these are what I invest in personally, along with a lot of others. Firstly, the big one, the S&P 500, the one I have mentioned multiple times throughout this video. The S&P 500 has different tickers, okay? Now, if you don't know what a ticker is the symbol for a stock, okay? So as a perfect example, Apple's ticker is AAPL. Amazon's ticker is AMZN. They all have their own tickers. So the ETF that I invest in for the S&P 500 has the ticker VOO. 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 It's one of the most popular ones. It's one of the cheaper ones. Once again, there are others. There's the SPY, the SPY, that allows you to invest in the S&P 500 as well. There's a few different variations. If I were you, stick with the VOO. VOO. It's here on the screen. Super easy for you. The second one that I love to invest in is the iShares MSCI. Now, this ETF gives you a lot of exposure to small and medium cap companies over all of the USA. These companies can be much more volatile, so they can drop quite quickly, but the gains can be huge, hundreds of % of increase, which is fantastic. And if it's in an ETF, it's much safer instead of investing in one of those small, medium cap companies individually. And thirdly, the VTI. That is the Vanguard Total World ETF. This is one that I said actually allows you to invest in around 3,500, 3,700 companies across the world. So it's not even focused on one country. It's a mixture of companies across different countries in the world. True diversification. Now, there will always be a dip in these ETFs. That is absolutely natural. Remember, people, if you are investing, you have to prepare for the ups and the downs. That is just the way it is, okay? When COVID hit, the stocks plummeted and the ETFs plummeted. When the tech crash happened in 2021, 2022, they all crashed as well. But it's good because it means that you can pump more money in and wait for that rebound as well. They will always come back. I don't care what anyone says, they will come back. Section number 5. How do you invest in an ETF? I think I've said this quite a few times throughout my videos, and this one, I would say Trading 212 or eToro. Both are fantastic platforms. All you have to do is go along to the platform, sign up, put in all your information, you go to the search bar, you type in the VOO for the S&P 500, it pops up on your screen, you click trade, you put in your amount, and you buy it. Like, seriously, you can invest in this thing in like 4 clicks. It's super easy, super easy. And I'll tell you a little secret. When I first invested in ETFs, I felt like a financial genius, like I was a god. Finally, I got started with investing, and it was an amazing feeling. So if I were you, if you're unsure what to do, just sign up to one of these platforms, go ahead, invest in the S&P 500, ticker VOO. That's what I would start with, and just start from there and work your way up. When you become more confident, then you can start investing in individual stocks. So if I were you, I would invest in the S&P 500 with your live money and use the simulator to play around with individual stocks until you have the confidence to invest properly. Don't do that until you know what you're doing, because you will lose money, you'll cry yourself to sleep, and it'll be a very sad moment, like my earlier days when I started investing, because a lot of us have been there. So don't overthink it. Start today, start investing, and just start small. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll happily get back to you and help guide you either on the platforms or what ETFs are best. Just reach out to me. Always happy to help. Until next time, have a great day.